Welcome, diehards, to USC basketball with Matt B for SC. I just got home from the USC versus Purdue basketball game today at the Galen, and it was a absolutely heartbreaking loss that we had to suffer today, particularly because we had the game in our grasp. We probably should have won this game, and unfortunately we let it slip away. Our undermanned USC basketball team missing Rodney Rice, missing Elijah Arenas, missing Amari and Dickerson, and then we were missing one of our defensive stoppers, Jerry Easter, who was sick and could not play today. 4 players down we were in this game, and we gave Purdue all they could handle. And again, really, we should have won this game today. So what happened? Well, let's talk about it a little bit and what it means and what we learned from this game. But first, let's take a quick look at how the game started. There was no slow start in this game today, as right off the bat, the game started and we scored quickly. Then we saw the Jordan Marsh, Gabe Dines connection. And then the CB to Gabe Dines connection. USC started off red hot. And at the 11-minute mark, we were up 22-8. After starting the game red hot, Purdue fought back, and we knew they were. We knew the number 5 team in the nation was not just going to roll over. So SC was up 22-8. Then Purdue went on a 30-10 run to end the first half, take the lead, and at halftime they were leading by 6 points. USC battled back in the second half, and the game was back and forth, tied, back and forth, one team taking the lead, the other team taking the lead, until the very end with 30 seconds left in the game.
So we've got 11 seconds between the clocks. We're trying to attack Braden Smith. Oh, Smith steals! Smith going in. What a job by Smith to use his body.
Our USC Trojans were down by 1 point, 63-62. When Jaden Brunell made that terrible pass to CBM, it was stolen and Purdue scored. That was basically the game. The game was over. It became trading free throws. SC had a horrific free throw shooting night, and the game was over. And so the question is, what really happened? How did we lose this game? Muss, after the game, gave a very succinct answer as to what happened.
Gabe Dines reached 4 fouls with 8:29 to go. How much did that impact your game plan going forward?
We got to make foul shots. We're 5 of 14 from the foul line, playing the number 5 team in the country. We out-rebound them. We couldn't have a better defensive scheme. We held them to 41% from the field. It's one of the most efficient offensive teams in the league. We're not going to get a call against them. We found that out in the conference tournament. We found it out again tonight. I don't know how you inbound the ball and then they get a timeout and the ball's already been inbounded. We led for 21 minutes out of the game against the number 5 team in the country. I don't know. We made an adjustment at halftime on Braden Smith. He had 18 points. He had 4 the second half. We're running out of bodies. I mean, there's no excuse. I know we lost the game, but you take 4 players off any team in this league. The fight, the scrappiness, toughness. It was there. You don't out rebound Purdue if you're not playing with toughness with their size. So I don't know what to say. Jerry Easter's. That was a guy that was going to guard Smith. So you deal with the hand you're dealt. I don't know how else to say it.
Coach.
So why did USC lose this hard-fought, tough, gritty battle? Well, there's actually 4 things that happened today that brought the loss. And we can see the frustration in Muss because really, these are things that could have been overcome and should have been overcome. Number one, why do we lose? Free throws. USC was 5 of 14 at the free throw line. They shot 35% on free throws. Think about it, 35%. We lost the game by 5 points today. If they have just shot 70%, we would have been 10 of 14. 5 more points right there. That would have been the game for ourselves. Reason number one we lost, terrible free throw shooting today. Reason number two, the 3-pointers. We were 3 of 20 shooting 3-pointers. Let me repeat that. We were 3 of 20. That is 15% we shot on 3-pointers. If we had just shot 30%, that would have been another 3 baskets. That would have been nine points we would have got. That would have been the game. That would have been an additional 9 points if we just shot 30% or 25%, I should say. That would have 25% would have been 5 3-pointers. That would have been 6 points, and we would have won the game if we had just shot 25% from 3-pointers. But we had all 3 of our 3-point shooters, Jaden Vernell, Jordan Marsh, and CBM, all had a terrible night shooting 3-pointers. And for Jerry Marsh, missing free throws was especially painful because he missed 4 free throws at the end of the game. In fact, he didn't even hit a free throw tonight, which is very unusual for him. So free throws, 3-point shots, they were the top 2 key reasons. And then the other reason, the loss of Jerry Easter for the game because due to illness. He's a key player on this team. He can be a defensive stopper, he can get points, and we didn't have him available to us today. But there is one reason USC lost that Coach Muss did not bring up. And it was a key reason why we lost. It played a part in the loss today, but it's something Muss would never say, but we're going to talk about it. Here's another reason why USC lost today.
That is Purdue Boilermaker fans. You're hearing cheer at the Galen. Well, the 70. Those are Purdue Boilermaker fans. It's about 70-30 Purdue over USC fans at the Galen. This is unacceptable.
I was at the game, as I said earlier. It was literally about 70% of the Galen was Purdue fans, 30% were USC fans. On the bottom, I'd say it was probably maybe 50-50 at best to 60-40 USC to Purdue. But on the upper level, which was pretty filled, it had to be 80-90% Purdue fans on the upper level. And I know that for a fact because I went up there to see it. 70% Purdue fans, 30% USC. This was not a home game for USC. It was a road game for our Trojans. And the reason I say that this is a reason for the loss, one of the reasons, is that on a home court advantage, the bookies, if you go to Vegas, they give the home team 3 points for home court advantage. USC did not have that home court advantage today. So you have to take away that 3-point advantage. It was a home game for Purdue. Purdue got to pick up that 3 points. That's a 6-point swing. We lost by 5. And you think home court advantage doesn't help? That if you're thinking I'm just saying that and it doesn't really mean 6 points, it doesn't really change anything. Let's take a look at a real home court advantage. This is a home court advantage. USC versus UCLA. Boogie had the massive second half. USC was down by 14 points at the half and completely took over in the second half.
Second half comeback for the ages. Wow. One player, Boogie Ellis, outscored the other team by himself in the second half. On his senior day.
This is a home court advantage.
Step back. Matthews nails it. 1 second. Bruins have another chance. Hawkeyes heave. Jonah Matthews is a March hero for USC.
When Boogie Ellis had his massive game, his legendary game against UCLA, when he completely took over the second half, scoring more points single-handedly than the entire UCLA team did in the second half, it was at a sold-out Gala Arena. By far the majority SC fans. It was an electrified Galen Arena that night. And in fact, after the game, in an interview, Andy Enfield thanked the USC fans and said that the team would not have won the game if it wasn't for the USC fans and the energy that the USC basketball team was able to feed off from the USC fans. But you know what? At the game today against Purdue, do you know who was feeding off energy? The Purdue Boilermaker team. They were the team feeding off the energy of the fans in the arena, not our USC Trojans. And every USC fan should be ashamed by that. This is our basketball team, and we have to be there to support them, especially because this is a good basketball team that's had serious injuries and has been fighting and battling for us all season long, proudly wearing that USC jersey, and the USC fans are not even there to support them, especially on a big game today. That is totally disgusting and unacceptable. I was at the USC versus Michigan Wolverine game last season, and it was the same thing. The Michigan Wolverine fans outnumbered the USC fans. And I have to tell you, in all my years of going to USC basketball games, I had never been so embarrassed in my life. Well, today I was embarrassed in the exact same way. The fact that SC fans cannot and won't support our USC basketball team. The majority of them, I say. It just doesn't make any sense. I will say this, though. When Andy Enfield was on his run of 4 straight tournament appearances, I know it was really 3, but it would have been 4. COVID stopped the tournament wasn't played one year, and we would have played that year. So it would have been 4 straight tournament appearances. The crowds at USC basketball games were really getting energetic, and the attendance at the games was growing. And we were starting to have sellout games, or at least 75% the field at the game. And I know this because I go to most of the games. So we were really on the upswing. And then the year when Bronny James played and Isaiah Collier came, the year that we thought was going to be a big basketball year for SC, but it completely fell apart. The Galen was rocking. Unfortunately, it turned into a disastrous season, and it really set the attendance and the basketball program back. And I feel bad for Muss that that's what he stepped into. But Musselman, in just his 2 years, has done an outstanding job coaching the team, bringing energetic teams for us, providing for them, and especially this year. We've had a lot of misfortune, as we like to joke around on the boards. We call it the curse. Our team has been cursed this year. But still, they're battling, they're fighting hard, and we are a 14-4 team in the thick of things and have a legitimate chance to get to the tournament this season. But we have to help our team. The USC basketball fans, the USC fans in general, we have to get to the Galen and support our team. Now, after my little rant, I do want to share a couple good things. Actually, really good things that we learned from this game. This is the 3rd game in a row. SC has been a terrible rebounding team for most of the season. But 3 games back against Minnesota, We scored, it was equal, 28 rebounds each team. Then we out-rebounded Maryland, a good rebounding team, by 11. Today, against a very good rebounding and a large front court, a big front court Purdue team, we out-rebounded them by 8. And you know what we've discovered? Suddenly we've learned that Jacob Kofi, Ezra Asar, Gabe Dines front court, they're dangerous. They can play. Jacob Kofi really shined today with 13 points and 15 rebounds against Purdue. That is outstanding. USC has had serious problems with turnovers all season. Against a terrible San Diego team, we had 26 turnovers. Against Michigan, we had 21 turnovers. But today, against Purdue, we had 13. So we've definitely been improving. In our last game against Maryland, we had 6 turnovers. So with Cam Woods and Jordan Morsh helping sharing in the point guard duties and controlling the ball, taking that pressure off CBM, we're starting to get that turnover program under control. We've done it 3 games now, 2 of them against good teams, Minnesota and Purdue. So we see we're finally starting to solve that problem this season. And then third, in this game against Purdue, in a game that we were not hitting our free throws, literally 35% free throws, we were not hitting our three-pointers. We were 15% on 3 of 20 with three-pointers. But this was a gutsy, tough, hard-fought defensive battle that SC played. And you know what? We could have won it. We were in it to the end, winning it off defense. And that's a typical Must team, a strong defensive team. So that's something else to look at, a strong defensive performance against the number 5 team in the nation. So we can see then that our USC basketball team is still gelling, still evolving. It's coming together. And I like so far what we see. We're coming together at the right time. Gabe Dines is starting to step up. And hopefully in the next game or two, we're going to see Elijah Arenas on the floor. And that will give us an extra 3-point and scoring threat. So there's a lot of good things still for the team that we saw even in this loss. We should all be excited. And let's get down to the Galen, feel the Galen, and show our USC basketball team that we support them all the way. Fight on, and I will see you at the Galen.